I'd like to call to order the meeting of the President and Board of Trustees of Machesney Park, Illinois for Monday, December 2nd, 2013. Please rise while Pastor Rob James of GPS Faith Community Church gives the invocation, and then Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Trustee Robin Snodgrass.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor and Board. I just want to say we're grateful to be a part of the tree lighting ceremony and fortunate to be a part of a community that's doing some great stuff. I invite you to join me in prayer. Gracious God, we give you thanks for community, for calling us together to care for one another, to encourage one another, to bring hope to one another. We give you thanks for collaboration and the way that community comes together when we work together, when we find ways to partner and to put aside any differences so that we might care for those who are in our community. God, I pray your protection over this board and their families. I pray that you watch over them, lead them, guide them every day. Continue to remind us, continue to challenge us to be a community where we care for those who are the least of these among us. God, may those who are hungry tonight, those who are homeless, those who are hurting from brokenness, may they be cared for, knowing that we're a community who cares about them. I pray in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk take a roll call, please?
Mayor Boland.
Here.
Trustee Snodgrass. Here. Tamman. Here. Kidd. Here. Wilson.
Here.
Yo.
Here.
Beck. Clerk is present. The attorney is present.
Thank you, Lori. We have a quorum. Next, we have approval of the minutes from November 18th, 2013 board meeting and public hearing. I entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or correction? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes have been approved. Next, we have Treasurer's Report. Steve Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. This week's Treasurer's Report reflects what the village received in MFT funds of $149,946.64 in the billed Machesney Park Road funds of $294,327.72. The total of all funds this evening is $6,478,876.82. And again, I want to thank everyone that came out for the tree lighting ceremony and the Light Up the Parks parade. It was quite impressive. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I entertain a motion to accept the Treasurer's Report.
So made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The Treasurer's Report has been accepted. Next, we have communication, Village Clerk Lori Mitchell.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like to report that the mayor has issued a proclamation for Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month, and that has been presented to the Illinois Department of Transportation, Division of Traffic Safety. Also, I'd like to remind the community to support Salvation Army through the Nickel Tuesday program at area Kelly Williamson mobile stations. For every gallon of gas purchased, 5 cents will go directly to the Salvation Army, Winnebago County. Also, I'd like to remind residents that we are in the midst of our holiday lighting contest for 2013 and encourage the community to bring holiday spirit into their neighborhoods by decorating their homes. To make a nomination, residents can call Village Hall at 877-5432, fill out an entry form at Village Hall or online at the village website, or you can email me, Lori M. at machesneypark.org. And this evening, I'd like to introduce Debbie Alfredson, Business Services Coordinator for Elevate, the youth program, who will be addressing the board regarding this Workforce Connection program.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me okay? I can tend to be a little loud, so I'd be careful with microphones. I'd like to introduce our case managers, Rita Nesbitt and Valerie Ferguson, and I bring them with because they're very integral in what we do. So let me tell you what we do. We work with in-school, tutoring for students who are struggling to pass classes. That's 2 days a week for them. And we have some other case management stuff, and I'll kind of tell you about the case management at the end because it goes with both programs. Then we have an out-of-school program that is for 17 to 21-year-olds for the Boone and Winnebago County areas. The reason Mayor Bolin was kind enough to invite me is that we've been struggling to recruit for that program in this area. And we all know that there's young people here that need it. We're just not being able to find them. So we're coming to you to ask for help to find them. All right, but as I continue with this, the case management part, let me tell you about that part. 17 to 21-year-old, let me say that one more time for our out-of-school program. We look for those kids, we bring them in, we test them, we get them into a GED class, and that is just the start, trust me. Our case managers then take them over. They see their case manager about every day. Rarely do they miss a day. Then they have a career services lady that they see once a week for 3 hours that helps them understand how to look for a job, how to write a resume, how to sell yourself, those kind of things. But the case management piece, they do everything. We have homeless, we have people with kids in DCFS, we have DCFS wards themselves, we have people coming out of parole working from the Behavior Institute, and we have kids that have just not been able to make it in the regular school system, so we have a very wide range of clients. And they manage to make every one of these kids come to classes, which I think is amazing to me. I've done this kind of programming for about 12 years, and these are two of the best case managers I've ever seen. So I just want to make sure that you understand how intensive the case management is if you bring us a kid. Okay, once they've gone through those two types of programs, in school or out of school, they come to me. Then it is my job to help them figure out what's next. That is college or workforce. Now, my preference, and I will tell you this, is never workforce in that age group, some kind of secondary training. And I don't mean just college, it can be vocational, it can be whatever they need to be more successful. Now, after we do that part, then I start going to employers, which, by the way, if anybody has any jobs out there, I start going to employers and I start telling employers about programs we have that we can help pay their wages. So we're also bringing something to the employment community, not just asking them for something. Now, I did that really quick because I know we only have a few minutes. Anybody have any questions about anything I just rattled off?
What's the percentage of wage do you help with?
Okay, we have two programs. For our particular program, for 17 to 21-year-olds, we actually pay whatever the starting wage is for the company up to 360 hours for up to 30 hours a week for 12 weeks. That's what our particular one is. Now, for 18 to 21-year-old, they can be moved into our adult program where we have an OJT, which is on-the-job training. That can be up to 50% reimbursement for the first 6 months of their wages for training. Now, they have to be hired in for that one. For the work experience is what the 360 hours is. They do not have to be hired in right away. They can be hired in after they get the work experience. Any other questions? I know I was rattling. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, is there any assistance as if they don't have transportation to get to your facility back and forth? Or what do you have for that?
Thank you. You're right, I should have brought that up. We actually pay for childcare. We provide transportation. We give them incentive awards, so once they get their GED, they get $300. We help them with pretty much anything, and that goes to case management. They've been managed to get everybody that came to us homeless a place to stay right now. Now, we don't pay for that, but we do find the services for that. We take care of their testing fees, which will be $120 starting in January. We will pay for retest fees minimally. We will not pay for a missed test. So if they just flat out don't go, we don't take care of paying for that. But we will find them ways to pay for it.
How are you funded?
We are funded through the Workforce Connection, Workforce Investment Board, Rock River Training, Department of Labor, and Rock Valley College. Did I get everybody?
It's under a WIA grant.
I'm sorry, it's very complicated for us sometimes. It's under WIA grants.
And a phone number?
815-921-2260. Actually, the ladies have cards for everyone. so that you can share them. My business cards, I don't know if are you guys handing those
Yes,
out too?
we are.
They're going to hand you my business card, and that is if you want any further information other than what we've told you tonight. If you guys know an employer that you'd like to introduce me to, I'd be more than glad to take that, and I would appreciate it. But really, what we really need is we need help finding the young people out here. We've done what we do in Rockford, which is kind of walk from store to store and drop off flyers and meet with people, and we've not had the success that we've had in Rockford. So, any suggestions anyone has on maybe some places we need to be going would be appreciated.
I could have our school resource officer call you from our high school. I'm sure he's been there for years and with older children. So.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Is there any restrictions as far as accepting someone into this program?
Not really. Direct acceptance, yes. You have to read and have math at a 7th grade level, 7th to 8th grade in reading. I'm going to say closer to 8th grade. But just because you don't test that the first time, that doesn't mean we won't take you. We will either retest you, because a lot of times we see the problems in math, so we direct them to a website where they can look at the math, get kind of brushed up, because if you haven't used it in a few years, you're not going to remember it. And we let them retest. If they do not succeed that time, then we will refer them to a program, which is usually the Goodwill program, the new Goodwill program, or Rock Valley College's Adult Ed for ABE, which is Adult Basic Ed, bringing them up to a GED level, that 7th and 8th grade, and then they come back to us. And we keep track of them to make sure that when they get up there, we can get them back.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying.
We're trying. So in those transportation, I know you mentioned that, it's in the form of a bus pass and/or gas reimbursement. We've had a couple that have been out in McChesney Park and Loves Park that kind of make that hike back to Rockford, and it's far. The site that I'm at is at the Centrum Center, which is all the way down on Samuelson Road, and that's far. But we had participants that were excited, willing, and able to make it to class, and if we see that that energy is there, I will make sure you get that gas reimbursement, and he got it, and he continued, and he received his GED. You know, it's really based upon the participants and their energy. You know, everyone asks, is there a time frame? We don't have a time frame. We let them, you know, come in and try to work the program and really encourage them to come to class, but they're not coming to class, it's a struggle. But those who have really, you know, taken advantage of the program, participated in, have really done well. The YMCA is full. Valerie's gotten quite a few graduates, and I've had my first graduate who was from Loves Park, so we're really excited and trying to really encourage and get the word out to students.
The YMCA program, actually, when they go to the program down there, they have childcare right on site. If you have any parents that are leery about leaving their kids somewhere else, we also help them if they have to have childcare off of site. We can make sure that money's there for them. Anything else?
Thank you, Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate the time.
And that's all of my report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you, Laura. Next, we have warrants. Trustee Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. This evening, the Administration and Finance Committee met and approved warrants totaling $824,022.43, and I move for their passage.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I see none. We'll take roll call.
Trustee Snodgrass.
Aye.
Tamman.
Aye.
Kidd.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Yo.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays.
The warrants have been approved. Next, we have administrative reports. I'd like to remind everybody that we have a toy drive going on, and we need all the new unwrapped toys that we can get. We're a little bit behind in our numbers right now for the requirements for this year, and I'd like to say also next Monday, early Monday morning, December 9th, from 5 a.m.